Well, a very warm welcome back to the Biathlon World Cup Tour. We are in the South Tyrol, the very north of Italy. Antholz, of course, the venue for this round of the World Cup, the final round before the Olympic Games in China. Final tuning up for those who've decided to attend, one or two teams deciding that this is the period they want to get in some extra high altitude training. And we'll talk you through that as we go. The men in action yesterday, brilliant race by Babikov, hitting 20 out of 20. It may require the same sort of precision today to win the women's individual over 15 kilometers, 4 shoots. This, for many, is the toughest of the races. Well, the weather has been stunning, as always. -3 to -11, the range of temperatures today. Little bit colder than that earlier on this morning, starting to get warm, of course. And then no sooner does it get warmer than the sun goes down behind these fabulous mountains, and it drops down below zero again. Light northwesterly wind today, a little bit blustery if the zeroing period is anything to go by. And then tomorrow there's rain forecast. Sunday looks absolutely fantastic, so well worth a visit if you get a chance. So Mike, Antholz, one of my favourite stadiums, certainly one of my favourite venues, and with the sun out, it's tough to beat. So a little bit of rifle control, as is always the way. Vera just going through the process, and she, of course, the world champion from 2020. Tandra Vold of Norway, left-handed shot, as many of you will know. Wearing 13 today is Janina Hettich from Germany. No Denise Herrmann racing today. She will race in the mass start, that's what we have heard. There's Hauser. She's had her fair share of success here as well, of course winning the individual last year, so effectively the defending champion. Mari Ada, at 34, pretty much a veteran for the Finnish team, but she's having a great season. Tyrrell Eckhoff, on the other hand, is having a dreadful season so far, but still smiling, and maybe today is the day that she can turn it round. She needs a good race to qualify for the mass start. Julia Simon, she is on the up, and it's been a rapid rise over the season. Well, the stadium bathed in sunshine. All we're missing is the spectators who usually come from north of the border. It literally is, what, 10 kilometres up the hill from here over into Austria, and then down the other side and across to the sort of the mega centre of biathlon, Ruhpolding. It's all in very close proximity, which I guess for a lot of these athletes is good. They can travel a little bit, do some training in various venues, not always the same venue. And of course we're at altitude here, just below 1600, although the highest part of the course at 1600 metres. You don't want to be training and racing there all the time. But those who do live here, the likes of Dorothea Vera, it certainly is an advantage. So just 5 minutes by my clock to go before the start of the race. Going to be very interesting to see what the Norwegians do. Of course, the Olympic team sat out last week in Ruhpolding, and they will be slightly more acclimatized to the high altitude than many. Well, here's the profile of the course, 15k, 5 times around the 3 kilometre loop, and then the descent down through the valley to the stadium. Doesn't really show it, the downhill section. Well, you can see it just after that second red flash. That's the little bit of rest you get before you come in to shoot. But on icy days, it's quite a technical bit of skiing. So many very tense going through that section. So the air temperature at -3. In the sunshine, it is a little bit warmer. Just trying to work out that the temperature is like it's cooled down. Now, if the Masket's going to choose one athlete to have a bit of fun with, Tyrrell Eckhoff is absolutely the right one. Yeah, always want to know who's inside. Maybe a 70-year-old man just having a good old time. Or woman, for that matter. It's not always youngsters, but they were moving pretty well. Well, here's your start list. How's it going off 11? Skottheim for Sweden, not in the Olympic squad. The Olympic athletes, the Öbergs, away at the moment. They've decided to sit out this round. I think they probably did a deal with Roysland of Norway, who's sitting out this round of the races. She wanted to be in action in Ruhpolding, where she notched up another massive World Cup points. Susan Dunkley goes for USA down 47. And to be honest, Hannah Sola, you saw just at the top of that last sheet. Not the last chance of doing well. Mariada, be interesting to see what she can do. Anyone who shoots well. Amanda Lightfoot, after some good races on the IBU Cup, a really good race actually, getting into the top 10, and she gets a place in the World Cup. But from what I hear, it has been confirmed that she will not get a ticket to China, so that's desperately sad for Amanda Lightfoot. Her form has come just too late. This is where you want a little bit of flexibility, but she's not being shown it this time round, which is a big disappointment to her. So there will be no British representation in the Olympic Games in China. There will, however, be an athlete that has Scottish roots, and we mentioned him a lot yesterday, Campbell Wright of New Zealand. They were announcing their teams on the 15th. We checked the teams, his name wasn't on it, but apparently there was some sort of embargo on announcing his inclusion in the Olympic team, and it came out yesterday. Campbell Wright has got a place, and he well deserved. Top 16 yesterday, finished 15th in the men's individual. He was actually awarded the place in Ruhpolding last week after his 25th in the sprint. And New Zealand, I quite like their system. It's not you must get a top 10 or a top 5. It's you must show that you're capable of finishing in the top 16s. That leaves quite a lot of room for leeway and a little bit of wriggle room, you could call it. And Campbell Wright has benefited from that. And with a top 15 yesterday, he absolutely backed up what the selectors were thinking. So we'll keep an eye on him. And he's about as close to a Brit as we're going to get, with his grandparents coming from Aberdeen and Dundee. He also has an American passport. I think that might have something to do with it. He was on the verge of going across to the USA if New Zealand weren't going to take him. And the USA team could do with someone of his talent. Well, I think Mike has got his mic sorted. Welcome, Mike. Beautiful conditions as always in Antholz, and there's the star of the World Championships from 2020.
World Championships in 2021. Exactly, we have now 25 seconds to start. And we are now
Tandrevold of Norway will be the first of 100 athletes to go out on the Antholz track. She'll be the first one to be puffing and panting because the air is thin up here at 1,600 metres. It makes a massive difference, but Tandrevold, like many of the men, not all of them, Johannes Tingesbo went home actually last week, most of them going up to altitude. Tandrevold should be fairly well acclimatised. We'll see how that ski speed compares to others today. Kunanen for Finland, 36 now, hasn't scored any World Cup points so far this year. Just a little bit too slow, really, to be competitive. But if you can hit 20 targets today, you're going to find yourself, you know, the chances are you'll be in the top 15. Lettermark racing for Greenland. Her mother, a long-term biathlete. She's based in Geilo, actually, in central Norway. I don't know what the state of biathlon is in Greenland, Mike, but I am aware that most of them know how to use a rifle from a pretty young age. Julia Simon for France. Now, Tandervold is away. She's a potential winner, but Julia Simon, I would say, has even more potential, provided she can forget her performance in the first individual of the season, where she missed, what was it, 3:1:02, so 6 targets missed, 6 minutes added to her time. And with the women's course being 15k and the men 20, the penalty for the women is higher in terms of the percentage added. Yeah, anyone who gets around 41 minutes has done well. Vera won the World Championships here in, what, 43:05, I think it was, with 2 misses. Tyrrell Eckhoff is capable of skiing that sort of time. Really interested to see what sort of form she's on, Mike. Her best this season, unbelievably, is only 6th when you think how dominant she was last year.
Everything since the second World Cup was impeccable, and to have lost all of that, quite amazing. I think, I really do believe that Eckhoff will be back to close to her best today.
Yeah, and I will have a little wager with you that she will be coming back from China with medals. Lisa Vitozzi. Now, if she can get through the first shoot, she should be okay. She's had an absolute disaster. She's missed 26 shots on the first shoot of the races so far this season. Her average is 3 out of 5. She's only shot clear in the first prone on 1 or 2 occasions this year. It's extraordinary, Mike. She's missing 3s, she's missing 4s, she's even missed 5 in the prone. Number 9, Pialkova. This, I think, to be honest, is her worst discipline. So anything in the World Cup points will probably be a bonus for Pialkova. She's lying 50th in the World Cup rankings. You have to get the top 40, as I'm sure you know, to get points in the biathlon, as we watch waiting for Julia Simon, the second of these 2 athletes, and highly likely, well, I was expecting her to beat Tandervold's time, but the 3:04.6 from Tandervold is pretty handy. Simon does get inside, 3.5.
Yes, that's a good pace, and we saw the intent that Tandervold started it. Aggressive shooter who has a race plan to try and keep that pacing throughout the whole 15 kilometres. Some are...
Hauser, who won here last year, 19 hits out of 20, came in comfortably ahead with Yulia Zhima of Ukraine, with Agnès Chevalier-Boucher down in third, Dorothea Vera in fourth place last year, again missing 2. It can be a tricky range. We had quite a lot of wind yesterday. In the end, Mike, I think those who started later had the worst of the conditions.
And I think the same today, Patrick. Often when we're here on site, as sun begins to go down, the wind certainly picks up strongly coming up the valley, all the way from the warmer temperature all the way up to the
Eckhoff down on the time recorded by Julius Simon. Now that's a little bit of an indicator. Eckhoff away from Ruhpolding last week.
Mit dem Damenbewerb eröffnet ist jetzt für die Janina Hettich ihr Einzelbewerb Antholz 2022. Alles Gute, Janina!
Behind the German athlete, we pass to the first athlete from the Czech Republic. It's Jessica Gislova.
So Germany's Hettich is away. This is Jessica Gislova of the Czech Republic. Already shot clear in 4 races this season. What's that? 1 in 3. That's a pretty good record, Mike. You know, most biathletes, if they get 5 clear shoots in a season, they're happy. Eckhoff, just think she doesn't look quite as sharp as we've seen her in the past, and you can see from the facial expression that already the body temperature is up, the breathing is heavy. I wonder whether, yeah, I think she might struggle come the end of today unless she gets into the race as it goes on. Tandrevold, first to start, first to shoot, and she'll be having a good look at the flags. There she is. And any assessment from yourself, Mike? Good central shot so far. Mike, it only takes the wind half a second to change. With those blinders, that must be a bit of an issue.
I never liked it really wasn't nice
Has to really shoot 19 out of 20, I think, to score World Cup points today. 15 seconds given away on that first 3 kilometres for Tandrevold. Actually, that's not bad. It looks as though she lost about 5 just going out of the stadium. And that's a nice solid shoot. Maybe she was listening to the interview from Babikov. That was a nice interview, Mike, saying Babikov yesterday saying he'd been watching his daughter on FaceTime doing some ballet, and she said it was perfect, but it was very, very slow. So he then decided to do exactly the same in the shooting range yesterday. Shoot slow, shoot perfect. It won in the race. Good start from Julie Simon. That's excellent and encouraging. She really has changed it around, hasn't she, Mike? It was a dreadful start to her season. She was starting to think she wouldn't be on the plane to China, but she's been the star of the show in terms of the French team since we went to Oberhof after the Christmas break. Yeah, 81 and 48. It's the standing shooting where we need to keep our fingers crossed for a 48%. The only person I saw under the 50. Davidova now for the Czech Republic, and be fascinating to see how she gets on. She, of course, won the world title in the individual. She won in Östersund at the start of the season. Yeah, but she looks hot, Mike. She, you know, I just got the feeling she was working harder than normal to achieve that. High left, maybe a little adjustment on the sights next time in. Watching Davidova start made me think of Gabriela Sukalova, Mike, who won the individual globe back in 2014. She is now a TV presenter. There's a surprise. Yeah. Oh. Not 5, please. No.
Oh, no.
Watch the face when she comes out of here. Absolute desperation. It's gone from bad to worse. What? Well, I don't think she shot 5 either. I think she's... is she looking for a way out? I just don't understand that, Mike. She's such a good shot. Of course, in that epic battle with Vera to win the overall World Cup 3 years ago. Oh. Well, at least she's secure in the Olympic team, Mike. Maybe she can make up for it there. But what race are you going to put her in if she shoots like that?
It's really a difficult scenario when the confidence goes, her position looks good, she's just got so much self-doubt getting into the goal position. And it was initially 4 shots.
But she will be penalised.
Now, Hauser in for her first shoot. Dorothea Vera started, what, 2.5 minutes behind Hauser, so won't be long before she comes under the road and up towards the range. The defending champion, remember, 0-0-1-0 is what she shot this time last year to win the individual. Oof. Yeah. Everyone aware of how significant that second miss is, and if looks could kill, the targets will have fallen over, but it's not going to happen for Hauser today. Boucher, starting 28, 11th in the World Cup rankings. Mike, we saw Jacquelin yesterday, absolutely exhausted. He has been pulled out of the mass start and the relay, just trying to recover. Desperately sad for him because in Annecy he was on world-beating form.
He wasn't, I mean, he was so motivated by the 18,000 spectators around the track, and he's like a little gladiator. He plays to an audience, but all that hard racing, Patrick, yesterday he had nothing, and yes, I was delighted to hear that, and it's sensible to pull him out of the next 2 races.
Good shooting from Hettish, not quite so good from Skottheim of Sweden. No penalty loops today, just added time, which is, in some ways, is even more painful.
Hettish, last year it stands as her best ever result, 5th position here, and you know what, if you feel good about a venue and you've had those positive feelings in the past, maybe Hettish today, not the fastest skier, I'm quite sure she's capable of hitting 20.
But in Antholz, it's more to do with your ability of coping with the altitude, the lack of oxygen in the air. It is so often the same athletes that come through. Schenp in the old days was brilliant. Hoffer produces his best here. Vera often produces her best here. Johannes Tinges Burmite never seems to struggle. I was interested that he went home instead of going to altitude training.
Yes, he likes the family. Of course he likes the family, but he finds
You would hope so.
Not cabin fever, but just getting away from a team is such a positive move when it's not going well, and I think that was a great move. Here's Vera.
This is how it should be done, and if Vitozzi shot like that in the prone, she would be 15 places higher up in the World Cup rankings right now. Anaïs Bescon. The French doing well with Julia Simon. Won't be long before she's in for her second shoot in the stand position.
Oh, she's back to her old trademark, Patrick. Fastest shooting time at the moment. That's clinical stop skiing to start skiing time, 25 seconds. Lanes 27, 28, 29 are in the shade. All of the rest of the range is in the sunshine, so a slight difference in terms of that rear aperture. Maybe for standing you want to open it up a little, allow more light in. I very nearly said it could well be a Tandrevold day today, but she hesitated and then kind of nervously snatched through the trigger.
Julia Simon still with the quickest time after the first shoot, 17:51 for Tandrevold. Still a little way to go before she reaches the halfway stage, another 1.5 kilometers. So again, we're looking at a time around 43 minutes, somewhere around there. 43 would be good. 44 could still well be in the top 5.
Just looking at the shooting scores, we've got 10 perfect zeros from 18. Vitozzi has been given 5 penalties. Maybe I miscounted, maybe I missed that. So she's just missed 5 targets, so 5 minutes added onto her time. There is an asterisk beside it, so probably it could change.
Simon is on fire. Can she make it 10 out of 10? She does. That looks very, very convincing indeed. Good shooting from Julie Simon. Don't get the French excited. Well, she had 3 wins in her career. Maybe a bit early to be talking about a win, but that was the sort of performance that was convincing enough. David Dover, 9.5 outside coming in, but shooting well, shooting fast. We'll update you on the speed of shooting. Julia Simon, 16:23 after that second shoot, and a 21.4 second shoot. That is handy.
Innerhofer, Patrick, she's missed 2 now, but her ski speed has really lifted itself from where she was in Ruhpolding last week. She came 78th in the sprint competition then. She's got the fastest time into the second shoot.
Slight lapse of concentration on that 4th target for Eckhoff. 15th in the World Championships here back in 20. She went 1:1.20, so she's still on course for a similar sort of shooting performance today. We'll see how she gets on with her next prone. Kuznetsova of Russia started just ahead of Franziska Hildebrand of Germany, who's on her way into the range. Russia, of course, with 1st and 3rd in yesterday's race. Babikov and Kalili. And an apology for Talia Burt. as I failed to pick up the fact that he had secured the Crystal Globe for the individual, winning the individual World Cup for this season. And what's significant about that, Mike, as we watch Hildebrand, is that Tariabo is now in a very elite group of men who have won every single one of the Crystal Globes, the sprint, pursuit, mass start, and of course the overall, which he won back in 2011. And completing his set yesterday as a veteran in the Norwegian team, a big moment for him.
So impressed the way Tariabo has, at 33-year-old, lifted his game again. You think at that age it's going to drop off. He's lifting all the time, and second place yesterday was fantastic.
Yeah, again, apologies for missing out on that. Only two individuals. Had one of those days, Mike. Both my printers ran out of ink, not within 6 days of each other, but within 6 sheets of paper of each other. And refused to work. Nothing locally could provide them. So that was one sheet that didn't get off the printer.
Annoying when it happens. Yeah, Brita Boucher, I'd love to see her. She has won an individual, but she missed 2 targets on that occasion. She's very fast in terms of ski speed, very fast, often missing targets.
Yeah, I thought she looked a tiny bit sluggish going out of the stadium, but impressive work out on the tracks. Good shooting from Breza Boucher. Fastest athlete through 1.2 kilometers is Breza Boucher, just a second ahead of Julius Simon. Alimbakava has gone really well for Belarus. Tyrrell Eckhoff 3.9 off the pace. Lisa Vitozzi still with the asterisks against her name. I think there are some penalty minutes coming there. She 5th fastest on that first loop. So I wonder, Mike, is it maybe not all confidence? Is it the fact that she pushes too hard on the first loop?
I don't think it is, Patrick. You would hesitate and rebuild instead of continuing to shoot. It's confidence, I think.
Taliham of Estonia, 45 of the 100 athletes. Second shoot for Pettish. Looked good in the prone. Nice solid position. Simon, Dominguez, Kinnunen, the top 3 at the moment, all of them with 10 out of 10. It's a busy range. Someone's standing particularly close to the microphone, and 2 misses after a good shoot. You know, Mike, what have we got? We've already got 4 out of 11 clear at the halfway stage in terms of the shooting.
It's pretty good. I'm just looking at Vitozzi shooting in stand. She's missed 3 further targets. It appears to me they've given her an extra 3 minutes penalty. So the 5 targets missed and prone, but they seem to have added 3 minutes extra as a penalty onto her time.
Dorothea Vera on the range that she likes more than any other. 5 out of 5 in the prone. Is it going to be 5 out of 5 in the stand? It is. She's on the sort of form that won her the world title back in 2020. On that occasion, she missed 1 on each of the first 2 shoots. She's gone clear this time round. Bescott skiing pretty quick, but 3 misses, putting her out of contention. But the French still having a good day. Breza Boucher skiing fast. Julius Simon skiing very fast indeed. And Simon in second place after that second shoot. Dorothea Vera has just pipped her by 3.2 seconds. That is a really impressive change in form from Vera, Mike. She stepped it up.
She has, and she looked so secure, so confident. There was no doubt in her mind that she was going to just attack the targets, and often attacking is a good mindset. Not fearing the targets at all, believing that you can just get your timing right. Brorson looking so clinically perfect there in her 5 shots.
Yeah, in terms of feeling, when you're racing World Cups, how does the feeling differ when you exit after a clear shoot as opposed to a miss, a 3 or a 4?
Mentally, I think it hits you more mentally. You think, thank goodness, round my neck, I don't have 1 minute, 2, 3, 4, or 5. You feel that lightness, so far so good, but then you're just focusing next on the 3 kilometres or 4 kilometres between the next shot to really push hard skiing and then get the mind back to the shooting game when you come in.
Oh, one big, one small breath in between for Antholz, and dropping them lower and lower. Is this going to squeeze inside? It does. So she limits the damage to 1. 13 out of 15 so far for the athlete that started first here today.
Surprised Antholz missed another one there. I thought she could certainly win with 1 miss. Now she's it's going to be tough, I think, to make the podium with 2 missed shots.
Antholz was right up with the French athletes at 1.2k, so she's taken quite a long time in approaching the range. Broke the position too early. That looked a desperate bid to get out in a hurry. Now, Simon. Is it 15? No. Might be better, Mike. It might be better to make the mistake here and come into the range for the last shoot without that pressure of thinking I might get 20 out of 20.
Do you know, in a sense, that does work. Look at Davidova. She won the only other 20 kilometre of the season in Östersund. Of course, there will be one at the Olympics, but for the points today, it's looking good for Davidova.
Yeah, the crystal globe is beckoning if she can get herself a top 2. Hauser is the other athlete in contention. Denise Herman isn't here. Alimbekova has already had a slow first loop by her standards. Now, Tyrrell Eckhoff needs to break that run of 1 miss a shoot. Hopefully we'll get a close-up on her targets.
And Eckhoff, in comparison to Simon, they're so uncomplicated. Her sights, wide open sights, has to close her left eye in the sunshine a little.
Well, it always used to be number 5, but this year, definitely, number 4 is the target that most are missing. Hannah Sola, again, the ski speed that we saw just before Christmas, and I think Oberhof, the form was pretty good as well. It's all going wrong, Mike, and she is slipping down that World Cup order. She's down to 6th now. She's, what, 240 points behind the current leader, Roysland.
Do you know, it's the worst possible time for shooting to desert you. Hannah Sola will be feeling the pressure. I thought Hildebrand would have a brilliant day today. A little like Babikov yesterday when he got the bad news he wasn't going to the Olympics. You want to prove something. I was a little surprised Hildebrand isn't included in the 5 going to the Olympics, and she must be very disappointed.
Well, it's Dorothea Vera who heads the way after the second shoot. It's a slim margin over Julia Simon. Julia Simon leading after the third shoot as well. She's still on 15 out of 15, so no mistakes from her. 3 athletes. In fact, that was coming into the range. She has missed one. She did miss one on that last shoot, didn't she? So Simon missing 1. Kunanen of Finland, who he said needs to shoot clear if she's going to do something impressive. She is clear at the moment, 15 out of 15. Abakamova down in 6th with 2 misses. César Boucher has been skiing exceptionally well. 11 seconds to play with. Still has at least 10 of those. Now that's a really good shoot from César Boucher.
I thought that was brilliant, Patrick. She shot in lane 16, 17, so in the sun, and the wind was pretty difficult, I think, for that shooting session. Surprised she didn't go way up to lane 28, 29, 30, where there was more shelter, but she managed to get all 5.
Yeah, Fraser Boucher making light work of going past Anna Macker, now on the tail of Lena Haki of Switzerland. The only one of the Swiss to have been named in the Olympic women's team so far. Burkhalter and Vega have made it on men's.
This is great news for Tomingas. And then she misses one, that's a shame. And of course the World Cup going to Otepää on the 7th of March. Unusual, the World Cup's going to Estonia.
Caroline Notten for... No, it's a very low position she has, Mike. Was surely a 45-degree angle of the elbows, or the right elbow is about right.
It is, but I remember Alexander Popov in the men's field. He was a great shot. He had an incredibly... There is a set limit that you can't go lower than. He was on the set limit. And you just have all that, your chest on the shooting mat. You feel your heartbeat a little more, I felt, when you're that low. But it does seem to work for some people. Not many have such a low position. Maybe 3 or 4 in this field of 107 will have a low position. Most are, as you say, 45.
Well, all the locals in Antholz-Tal will be watching the range now, because Dorothea Vera is on her way in. It's only a small village. What's the population? 3,000. Population density, Mike, that struck me. 24 per square kilometre.
Blimey.
It's not a busy place. But,
freedom is excellent.
Yeah. A little bit longer for that first shot. Often around the 11-12 second mark. First miss could prove expensive. Second one certainly will from Vera. Is it the wind? No, her hair absolutely still. Has to make sure of this. She'll be furious with that, but she knows she has won individual races, missing 2 of the 20 shots. She'd have to go clear on that last stand. But what went wrong there? That was a lack of concentration more than anything else.
I think it was, and as you pointed out, Patrick, no wind this time. There was last time, so her sights were set for the wind which she had last time, and I didn't see her make the adjustment, pull the sights back for dead wind. Often she's so accurate, Vera, as Borson is looking pretty good, that she may have thought it's 45mm target. I can risk leaving the sight set slightly off, but it didn't work.
Yeah, Borson joins the 10 others that have shot the perfect score up to the halfway stage. Ida Lien with 3 in the prone. There's something going on. The wind absolutely died away. And that's a strange one, isn't it, Mike? Because when the wind picks up, you definitely notice it. When it drops away, not so much.
And yes, and if you've been in, and that's the trouble here, you're 18 minutes each time you come into the range. 8 minutes, 16 to 18 for 2 shoots. Of course, today it's prone, stand. So 18, 19 minutes since you came in for your first prone, and the wind has changed a lot.
So 3 missed for Tangervold. Zimaze sends the message back out onto the tracks, and now the wind picks up again from the left.
If Vera had shot, Patrick, and the wind was like that second time, I believe she would have got all 5. She hadn't moved her sight, so I would imagine the missed shots were over to the right at 3 o'clock.
Now, this is a big moment for Julie Simon. I was just going to say, 19 out of 20 could win her the day. 18 out of 20 can still get her on the podium. She is skiing that fast. 140 inside the previous best, but only 3 athletes starting in front of her. So she's going to set the mark, no doubt about that. Davidova is in a very good position at the moment. The first 10 are down. The wind, well, it's still there, but it's not quite as strong as it was earlier on.
I love the way Davidova, that left elbow, it's almost directly under the barrel, a little old school, but it locks your position beautifully.
There's a gust of wind. Copes well with that. So 4 out of 5 for Davidova, and she is still on course to secure the Crystal Globe for the individual races. Julia Simon, by my recollection, is not a threat in terms of the individual title. I'm not sure she even raced in the first individual in Östersund, to be honest. We can check that out. She did, but she was down in 72nd place, which is why I couldn't find her on the front sheet of the results.
Eckhoff struggling there, Patrick. Nearly 10 seconds to the fourth shot. That's okay. It's one missed each time. There's a pattern there, isn't there? So just maybe lacking her race mindset, really.
Yeah, in her prime, she could get in the top 3 or 4 with 4 misses, but I don't think that's going to happen today. There are too many performing way better than that on the range. But having said that, Kinnunen is still the only one to have gone clear into the first 3. I think she's on the range at the moment, actually, Mike, trying to make it 20 out of 20, or was that Kinnunen disappearing? I'm just waiting for her score to come up.
Yes, she's clear. Oh no, that's coming into the range. Hasn't exited yet. Well, that middle shot cost her dearly. I looked at the start list and I thought Vendika, she has put herself in the top 10 a couple of times, 2 5th positions, and she can, on some days she can hit 20 out of 20. At the moment she's just missed 1 from 15.
Yeah, Kinnunen has gone and missed 1. She has missed 1, so she's now 2 minutes 19 off the pace of Julia Simon. 1:19 would have put her into 2nd position, but still 19 out of 20. She certainly would have taken that at breakfast if you'd offered it to her. Reza Boucher, 10 seconds inside her teammate. Is it going to be a 1-2 for the French? They need a bit of good news. The men struggled yesterday. Phil Maillet well below his best, and Jacquelin absolutely spent.
See the missed shots there, they're all to the right. That's when the dead wind comes along, your sights are over.
That was a good shot to finish, despite the fact she had to wait 11 seconds. It was worth it. Lost 11, gained 60. France now 1 and 2 after the 3rd shoot. Tuuli Tomingas from Tallinn in Estonia with her last shoot of the day, and this is looking pretty good actually. If she can get these 5, and she got the first 5 in the stand, PB of 7th might be under threat. Oh, that's a shame. That's a real shame for Tomingas, the 27-year-old, I think just starting to lose faith in her own ability to hit 5 on that occasion. 3 misses from Hauser, I think that's going to keep her off the podium. She only missed one last year. Now, Julie Simon, Mike, early starter, could put too much pressure on the whole field. It could be a win going her way.
Yes, on today's conditions, 2 penalties is okay. In fact, we haven't seen many. Claire Egan at the moment is coming towards her 4th shoot, her last shoot actually. She's only missed 1 so far.
Vera in for her final shoot. 2 misses on that last prone. Has to get 5 here to stay in touch. Remember, Simon missed on the last shoot. Well, that's cost her the win, no doubt about it. She won't catch up with Julie Simon over the last lap. Now, this is better from Claire Egan, Mike. We've not seen so much of her this year, simply because the performances haven't been as good as they were in the previous 2 years.
So much improved today. I just hope she can steady the nerves for this one. Excellent.
Yeah, she'll be happy with that. Very happy indeed. And Egan, who was 76th in the sprint in Ruhpolding, didn't get a look in the pursuit. I think that's going to be her best result of the season. Her best so far is a 26th in the sprint in Östersund. What about Bråsten? Not so far off the pace of the leaders. Quite a lot of lateral movement in the barrel in between each shot.
Yes, I was surprised. I like the way she relaxed her position. There was a little bit of tension in her left hand. She relaxed that, but that was almost a fearful last shot. Everything prior to that was so easy, so in the zone that you need. But fear, I think, came in on that last shot.
Tandrevold's going to be the first in, but her lead will be short-lived because Julie Simon only started, a minute and a half behind her and is on the way towards the stadium. 3 misses from Tandrevold. Here comes Julie Simon. Last time we saw she was 2 minutes and 3 seconds clear of Tandrevold. So if Simon can extend that, we'll get some sort of idea of how quick the pace has been over the last... No, she's lost a little bit in the closing stages, but it's a fabulous run from Julie Simon. 18 hits out of 20, and that might just be good enough for a win. But having started number 4, there are 96 athletes still to finish who can threaten her. Davidova, Mike, if she gets 5, she's going to be in the running.
She certainly is. This is it's a big pressure moment for her. She's proved many times that she can cope with the 5 shoots and the 4 times in. But it's the 1 minute added on to each error that puts more fear through you.
And of course, the knowledge that a crystal globe is there for the taking.
And
that crystal globe is about to be shattered. One more miss, she could be in dire trouble. Well, she's still got a chance. 3 misses. She won't threaten Julie Simon, but it's all about getting as many World Cup points as possible. 60 from the last individual, and she might just have done enough. We'll try and keep our head around that. Eckhoff with a good burst to the line, but 4 misses. Now, ski speed is good, Mike. Only 2:15 down. She's actually 15 seconds slower than Julie Simon in terms of ski speed.
I think that's excellent. And we did see Eckhoff taking much more time on the range than Simon, so running about level in terms of ski speed.
Yeah, but that's normal for her. Even last year when she was winning, she was slower than everyone else in the range.
She was. I'd love to see Marie Eder come back to her winning ways. She's only had 2 wins, and they were a day apart in Oslo, the sprint and the pursuit. Didn't work out there at all. The last shot mistimed completely. Her prone is good. Her stand is her weaker element. Well, Keenanen has done very well. Hugely experienced, formerly racing for Belarus and then married now, living in Joensuu. And the ski speed has dropped, but this will be, I think, one of the best shooting scores today. I'm sure we'll see one or two perfect zeros. And the altitude really being felt by Keenanen.
Shame about that one miss. Just tracking Amanda Lightfoot, who's got her first World Cup start of the season. Pulled out of a few earlier on in the season. 34th position after the first shoot, having gone clear. So good start from Lightfoot. And as we mentioned earlier, had a very, very good race in the IBU recently, which is why she's been promoted back up to the World Cup. Breza Boucher, another who can challenge the time of Julie Simon. 4 out of 5 could be good enough this time. 38th in the first individual of the season, so she's not thinking in terms of the crystal globe. That might take a little bit of pressure off her. The wind is picking up. So far, so good. She can afford a decent amount of time. Pretty sure she'll know exactly what Julie Simon managed. This could be for the win. Down it goes. Very quick reactions. A 2-second gap. And France look as though they're going to have a 1-2 here in Antholz. That is just what they needed after the disappointment of yesterday.
That was brilliant. The wind, I think it looked much worse than it was. The camera showed her hair blowing, but it's coming over your left shoulder, so it's not really moving the rifle, nor the bullet as it travels down the range. That was fantastic. She didn't rush it, she didn't panic, and difficult to get the last 5.
Yeah, and she had a good look at the big screen, and she will have seen the green light opposite her name. And if she was really sharp-eyed, she would have seen the 1 minute, knowing she's got a 1 minute lead over her teammate Julie Simon. Lisa Teresa Hauser, third position at the moment. Hauser was second, Mike, in the last individual. So she is the other main contender for the Crystal Globe this year. And of course, Hauser won it last year, or shared the title, shared the Crystal Globe with Dorothea Vera.
Yes, and Davidova, just trying to see where Davidova has placed. She's actually just ahead of Hauser as she exited the final time into the range.
Well, she needs to maintain that, and we'll try and spot her. Yeah, Davidova down in 5th position, Hauser down in 7th. Quite a margin between them, to be honest, 24 seconds. So it still looks as though it's going to go to Davidova.
And Hauser, well, she won on this day last year, missing 1 target. She found the podium after Christmas, didn't she, last year? And she just kept that habit going for 9 podiums to this point. So her form was found.
It's going to be about a minute 5, somewhere around there for Dorothea Vera. 2 misses on that second prone. Very unusual for her, although the prone shooting has been a bit of an issue this season. And 107 the margin into second place.
I think Dorothea Vera will take positives away from this race, and well, she's second at the moment, but everything looked much better today.
Claire Egan. Well, look at that. Look at that. She's gone into second place, and the Americans at last have something to cheer.
Faster than Dorothea Vera. Well, Claire Egan.
Well, that was a fantastic run from the American, and although there are still quite a few athletes out there who've yet to produce their last shoot. Later starters who've done well will obviously Sweden have their fingers crossed for Mona Bråsen. Anna Maka of Poland up in the top 12, only missed one so far. She could certainly get into the top 5. This is looking good. Break in the routine and a break in the result. Oh, what a shame.
So expensive, those 3 seconds of thinking in between the shots and the very final 1 minute added on to her time. That's a real pity. I thought that there was a podium coming up. Maybe there still will be at the end of the day. But she'll have to look at that later and figure for the Olympics, what can I change to control the last shot?
Yeah, we're also watching out for Merkashina. Here comes Davidova. And provided she beats Lisa Teresa Hauser, I think the danger from Herman obviously doesn't exist as she's not racing today. Alimbakova of Belarus, 4th in Östersund, not challenging the top 5 at the moment.
Shake of the head there. Yeah, not happy. I thought she would be, at the end of the day, she might well be happy, but clearly not feeling strong on the tracks.
Davidova starting 21. Here she is. Well, with 3 misses, it's still a very good result. 2:01 from Tandrevold is going to be pushed down. Well, that's a good skiing effort from Davidova. Comfortably inside Tandrevold, so she is going into 4th place at the moment, and if she stays there she'll pick up 44 points, so that will take her total onto 104 for the 2 individual races this season. Now, Alimbakova picked up 44 from the first race, so she would need to win it today, and that's not going to happen. She's got herself a bit of crystal, I think, Mike. I can't see anyone else taking it away.
I was just looking there, Patrick. I was looking for Anna Vidal. If she has a good one today, she could challenge, but it doesn't look like the shooting has gone as she may have hoped.
Sola. Oh, the skiing's gone, the shooting's gone. Six minutes added on her best form. She can do about 2.5 kilometers in that time. So a big penalty. Here comes Breza Boucher, who's been skiing exceptionally well. A minute clear coming out of the range. She still had 55 seconds last time we saw her. And we should get a readout, yes, at 14.7. We're going to get another indication.
Just the mindset today, Patrick, for Justine, just different. She wasn't as tense and as rushed as she normally feels. She comes in, she panics, she shoots fast. Today she was just so calm. There's a collision. Luckily not a fault.
We talked about that yesterday, and yeah, you can't afford to have that sort of situation in a major championships. Hildebrand into 8th position, which makes her the best of the 2 German athletes that have finished so far. I think Hildebrand's been pretty impressive, Mike. Up and down from the IBU Cup. Every time she's come, she's done what the coaches have asked. So I think you're right. A little unfortunate not to be involved in the Germans' Olympic effort. Bentika for Latvia, 10th position at the moment. We've only got, 23 of the 100 athletes across the finish line. And Justine Breza coming around that top corner. There she is, another 5 seconds or so. She is in cruise mode. I think she knows she's got this one in the bag. Well, a fantastic run from her. Breza Boucher with 19 hits out of 20. If she does win, that's only the 3rd victory of her career. And it's been, 2 years, Östersund 2020, when she last won. Well done to her.
Great news. I'm so happy. She's been skiing so fast all season, Patrick. Always top 5 fastest ski time, but missing so many targets in the early season. Thankfully, she's finding her biathlon when it really matters most.
Yeah, she was awful with the rifle in Oberhof, but turned it around in Ruhpolding. So maybe she just likes the better conditions. And to be honest, although it's difficult shooting at altitude here, the wind hasn't been nowhere near as bad as it was in the men's race yesterday.
No, not as challenging. And still at the finish line, Claire Egan still remains in 3rd place, 155 behind. She may well be challenged by Brorsen. In fact, Brorsen is ahead of her now, moving into 3rd place.
Yeah, Brorsen with a lead of 11 seconds, going through 13.2. And I can't see Brorsen losing that amount of time over the last 1,800 metres. It's possible, but unlikely. Anna Macker. Now, big impression from Anna Macker early on. 14 out of 15 so far. 2:33, it's a big margin. But if 5 go down, she's going to be close to 1:40 behind the leaders.
Hello, can you hear me, Carlos?
That's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. 19 out of 20. Now let's have a look and see how many places that pushes her up the order. Coming into the 4th shoot, she was in 15th place. She goes rocketing up into the top 7. Now it's a question of hanging on. Here comes Mona Brorsen, still looking really good. She's been impressive, actually, Mike, Brorsen.
She has, and last week she looked strong in each of the races in Ruhpolding, and the form, the shooting form as well, is coming back. And, well, there she is, 3rd position right now. Can she move that up? I don't think she can, to try and fight for 2nd place. Not much track time left.
Well, I don't think there's any chance of that happening. 30 seconds or so. Brorsen has made the Swedish Olympic team. Here she comes in yellow, and the fact that she's getting good news from all her coaches seems to have put a bit of spring into her step. Much more dynamic than she's been in previous years, Mike. She just looks that little bit lighter on the skis.
Yes, she's always been so strong, and in training terms, she's always the strongest out there, the most dedicated. When my son Scott used to train with the Swedish team, and very, very talented as well. She puts all her energy into this sport. She deserves a podium today.
Well, it looks as though Egan is being pushed down. Yeah, Egan demoted to 4. Brorsen goes 3rd. So even with the Öbergs away, the Swedes have a little bit of success. Linda Carver, 4th in Östersund. World Cup position, she's 3rd. She's, 152 points behind Roysland. Could have done with a win today to start putting pressure on the Öbergs and the Royslands of this world, but it's not going to happen.
Great discipline from Olimbikava, missing 3 from 10, first 10 shots fired, then the 2nd pro and the 2nd stand. That's great discipline, strong mindset to secure 100% hit rate in the final 10.
Yeah, she's been good in the prone position this year, still at around 93-94% hit in the prone. Those two misses in the stand, they've really cost her a shot at the individual crystal globe, but a good performance from Olimpikova nonetheless. She'll pick up a few points, close the gap down on Roysland and Elvira Erberg, who are ahead. Nigmatulina, what was she? 5th in the only other 15k race we've had so far this year.
Good to see Amanda. She's really in a real good vein at the moment. As you mentioned, her good skiing, her 5th place in the IBU Cup. And she actually skied faster than the winner in the individual in Brezhno Orzabli as well.
So fingers crossed. 12 out of 12 so far. I think I'm right in saying she's never gone clear in an individual before, but she's still got a chance of achieving that. She was in the top 30 after the first shoot.
Fantastic. That's so good to see. Amanda, 15 out of 15.
She was, she's gone up into 12th position. 12th position at the moment. Now, I wonder if she gets, if she does hold on to that, Mike, and she can hold her nerve and produce a good final shoot, do you think they'd reconsider her involvement in the Olympic Games? Or is it too late?
I would love to
see.
It looked like it. I read through it earlier this morning, and it looked to me like she was 3rd in terms of reserves. So you've got 12 kind of wild cards. They've been placed. And then you've got 3. You've got another 10 after that, be it reserves or be it maybe teams won't take all of their quota. But it didn't look great for her. I would love to say that today could change things, and who knows, maybe it can.
But it's not down to the British Ski Federation or the Olympic Federation. It's down to the IBU, and in terms of quotas, because the British didn't win that one solitary place.
Yes, certainly she has the support from the BBU, the British Biathlon Union. Elizabeth Winfield there would definitely support her if IBU would take her.
Marieda turning around the performance in the stand. 3 misses last time, cleans it up this time, and that is going to push her a long, long way up the standings. Good effort from Marieda. She was down in 26th position when she came in and was some 3 minutes 17 off the leaders, so she'll cut that to around 2:15.
Well, the 21-year-old Botte, she has been named in the team, and this is why she's hit 14 out of 15 so far. She's young. She's got a lot to improve on in terms of endurance, but the shooting is excellent.
Well, 1 or 2 of the later starters are going to keep this race going for a while. Just looking at the very end of the start sheet, we've got Emily Dixon from Canada starting 96, Joanne Reed of USA 98, Tanaka of Japan 99, and Freuwert is the last athlete away for Germany. Well, Kalkenberg could threaten her PB as well. 3:21, that's quite a big margin. In the finish, at the moment, just try and find out what the gaps are. Well, 3:21 still gets you into the top 10. Eckhoff is 10th on 3:06 at the moment. Brézard Boucher with a leading time of 42:20. That's a very, very quick time indeed.
Just thinking about Amanda Lightfoot going so well today. Our best results have come in this, the individual. She's had a 31st, 32nd and 33rd. 2 of those were at World Championships.
Alina Pilchuk just 21, so early days of her career. Now that's a fairly major adjustment. That looked like four, maybe 5 clicks clockwise.
Has the wind changed that much? Well, you can see her hair blowing. She's rethinking. The right elbow slipping out a little there as well. That's so frustrating. It changes the fall of the shot if that elbow slides too far out. You're right, yeah. She adjusted a long way, Patrick. She's having to take it back. Oh.
Now she doesn't know where she is.
The mind can just fog over. You can just go blank.
Yeah, a bit like being in a maze with your eyes shut. You don't know which way to go. Anna Maka, 19 out of 20. Excellent effort from her. And the Poles will be celebrating that. That's a brilliant performance from Anna Maka. .48 on the charge is Federica Sanfilippo. Of Norway just ahead with 17 hits out of the 20. Norton around 20th position. The Surger on 4.24 is going to survive. Innerhofer on 4.36 is going down a place. And Sanfilippo just coming across the line. Just Sanfilippo started 48. Well, that was a good effort from Sanfilippo. Try and update you on her position. I'm suspecting that she's missed a massive targets as the... Yes, she has. 5 targets missed, which is why the cameras weren't following her. Not so good from Irwin, but Egan still sitting very proud up in 4th place at the moment. 3 seconds ahead of Dorothea Vera.
Yes, Irwin is actually in the named 5 athletes, the American team for the Olympic Games. And that was a decent finish to her race in terms of shooting.
Ida Lian getting better every time in. But 6 minutes added, and had she gone clear, it's a big if, she would only have been 20 seconds off the leading time and up into 2nd place. So there is something positive to take out of it, but 3 misses on that first prone. Her heart must have sunk. So, top 10. There could still be a couple of changes. I think Brézard Boucher and Julia Simon are safe in 1st and 2nd. I think Brawson's actually safe as well. But Amanda Lightfoot of Great Britain could join them in the top 10. If she goes clear on that last shoot, she is certainly skiing well enough at the moment to hold on to a top 10 position. So let's keep our fingers crossed for that.
Yes, Amanda 13th. She's on the track, just gone through 10.1, 13th position. Just gone through 11.7 now, actually. She's dropped a couple of seconds, 17th position at 11.7.
Nice finish, very nice finish from Nigmatulina. The Russians certainly not having as good a day as they did yesterday. They got Kazakovic down in 25th position. Let's just correct that. I think even further down. She's down in 40th.
Just thinking about Russian performances, Patrick, here in the women's field. It's a long time since there was a podium. having to go all the way back to 2004. Bogali, Titovic and Ishmoratova first and second on that occasion. There's Amanda Lightfoot.
Well, yeah, she's in. There's the first miss of the day. Needs to put that behind her.
Fantastic.
Well, she's got 19. She has got herself 19 hits out of the 20. That's the best shooting I've ever seen from her in the World Cup. And certainly she's on as good a ski form as I can remember. So Amanda Lightfoot, after a really poor start to the season, nothing was working, has suddenly found a rich vein of form. I don't think top 10 is reachable now, but certainly, Mike, she's well into the World Cup bracket in terms of points. And what are we looking at? Top 25. We'll try and find out exactly where she is when she exits the range.
Yes, I think she's 17. 17, and had that last shot went down, she would have been in 7th place, but it's still a fabulous result. She needs to have the ski time of her life now over the next 3 kilometers.
Yeah, trying to hold off Chevalier and Stramuth and Fialkova, Zhislova, Bendika, Tomingas are all close enough should she tire on that last loop. So lots of work still to do. For Bornikova, 15 out of 15. That's what we want from someone at the back. 153 off the leaders. 153 is still good enough to put her into the top 4. So should she clear the last 5 targets, then she could be looking at pushing someone out of the top 10.
Thought Anna Weidel would go well today, but that's not enough to challenge Davidova. Weidel finishing, what, 6th or 7th in the first of the 20 kilometers? 9th, actually.
Yeah, she shot 0 on that occasion, so that's not a bad effort, Mike. 39 out of 40 in the individual races for a season.
It's fabulous. She's such a good shot. She hasn't got the endurance yet to challenge in terms of ski time.
Fialkova, who was 5th in the Olympic Games individual last time round in Pyeongchang, hitting 19 out of 20 on that occasion.
We mentioned Weidel skiing for the last lap. It is still Hildebrand, 14th position, who holds the best German position.
Yeah, how things have changed. Kalkenberg. Well, this is a big opportunity for her.
She was 7th in Östersund. She can handle the 4 times in. Missing the first shot is the negative. So much lost. She was pushing for a top 15, now dropping all the way down into, what, mid-40s.
Amanda Lightfoot still holding on to 17th position. She had 5-6 seconds in hand over Chevalier. That margin is now down to just 1 as we have a look at the standings in the finish, looking more likely that the top 10 will survive. Result of the day in that bracket, I think Claire Egan, isn't it, Mike, of USA?
Yes, 4th position for Claire Egan, and De Vera just behind her.
Great day for Mona Brawson and the French again celebrating a double podium. Julia Simon in 3rd, Brézard Boucher with the lead at the moment.
Amanda's just dropped down to 19th place. Amanda Lightfoot, 19th place. She needs to keep the pressure on. She's just 1 second ahead of one athlete, 3 seconds ahead of Tomingas, so it's going to be close. Just got a message in from the British development team. Scott Dixon training them in Ruhpolding right now. They're saying they're training beside Norath this morning. He's going to the Olympics. and they just can't believe, they're so excited about Amanda's 19 out of 20 shots hit and 19th position at the moment.
Yeah, let's hope she stays in the top 20. Her PB is 31st, so that's a good effort.
But Bornikova, she proved herself last year at the World Championships, 7th position in the individual, shooting very well. She's only 21-year-old, so a lot of time to improve in terms of ski speed.
Nigmatulina certainly looking tired at the moment, up towards 14.7. That's the last of the splits before they come in. Only 300 metres, all from here. Got to negotiate the fast downhill in the meadows in the shade now, so fractionally faster than it was earlier on. Normally packed with thousands and thousands of fans.
You mentioned her fatigue. Her legs were so rock solid there. She didn't use the flow. She didn't edge. Very, very stiff. And that burns up more energy instead of relaxing round the bends.
In 11th place at the last split point. Has she improved on that? She has. She's gone up into 10th, ahead of Anamaka of Poland. There's not a whole lot in it. 4 seconds to play with. She should be okay. Should be okay, provided she can stay on her feet. Drops down under the road, up into the stadium, and then those two right-angled right turns into the finish. Less than 250 metres to go now for Nigmatulina, who was really impressive in the first race of the season up in Östersund, finishing in an impressive 5th place in the individual there. Well, I think Brézard-Boucher can start the celebrations. Mike started number 28. She knew it was a good time, was getting fantastic splits. As we mentioned, only 2 World Cup wins prior to this.
Yes, there appears to be nobody else who can challenge that performance from Brézard-Boucher, so she'll be getting to be more relaxed in the stadium. Nerves will still be jangling a little. Well, here's Amanda. 300, just over 300 metres to go, still pushing for that 19th position. I think she's going to hold on. 19th it is.
Well, that's good work from Lightfoot, particularly on the range. We always have a look and see what would have happened had she hit all the targets. 3:01 behind would have put her into 11th place, ahead of Tyrrell Eckhoff. Well, that's not happened, but it's still a fabulous performance today with those 19 hits out of 20. Never been in the top 20 of a race before. 19th position going through 14.7. 3 seconds to play with to stay in the top 20. So it's going to be a tight affair for Lightfoot. Has to stay strong over the last 150.
I think she's going to, the pace that she's got, comparing it to Benedika Tomingas, I think she's going to hold this 19th place. Personal best by what, some 12 positions in terms of World Cup racing.
Chevalier is okay on 3:46. Kinnunen, who we saw shooting really well for Finland, in 18 at the moment. Leskinskaite of Lithuania, it's 4:02. Oh, this is going to be so close. 5 seconds to get inside, make a top 19. She's just going to miss out on that, but Benedika will go down. It is still a top 20 for Amanda Lightfoot. PB, whatever happens, and should she stay there, her first ever top 20 in a World Cup. Well, that in a way, Mike, hurts even more now that the Olympic selection has and the quotas have been allocated.
Well, I would love to see that 20th position. We saw yesterday the 15th position from Campbell Wright made a difference. It was announced last night. I know it had been brewing up for some days prior to that, but I would love to see Amanda Lightfoot now being included. IBU allowing her to go to the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see it happening. And it shows how difficult it is when there's only one athlete in a team. How on earth do you accrue enough World Cup points to get your nation a larger quota?
It's finance, as you say. It's all about money. It's about having a backup team. Ilario has done a great job supporting Amanda Lightfoot and really improving her skiing performance and her shooting performance.
Now, no one has managed to hit all 20s. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. I thought we were going to see our first clean sheet of the day.
May well push Amanda down. If this shot goes down, it won't now.
Ooh, that might save her. That second miss may well save Amanda. 3.5 minutes behind. Lightfoot finished in 20th, 4:03 off the leaders. So this is going to be close. She's in 25th at the moment, some 7 places behind Lightfoot coming out of the range. Well, we've got a busy weekend of biathlon coming up. Relays and mass starts on Saturday and Sunday. I hope you can stay with us. Remember, the last biathlon races before the Olympic Games. We're down to, what, 14 days before that first race. Well, thanks for your company today. Another brilliant performance by the French. They do the double. Justine Brézard-Boucher taking the win, 42.20 the winning time. Julia Simon, who started early, set the pace. One miss on that last shoot cost her the win, but she still claims second place ahead of Mona Bråsen of Sweden in third and Claire Egan in fourth. Still 30 athletes out there, Mike. Going back to the fourth shoot. Belchenko, top 25 at the moment. Should she clear on the last shoot, she might challenge for a top. We've got Bornikova, who we have seen missing 2 prior to that last shoot. And I can't see anyone else. Can't see anyone else who's going to challenge. So there are our top 10. 42.20. Impressive time on this Antholz course, I think, just indicating what sort of form Brézard-Boucher is in. Amanda Lightfoot on the second page of the results, down in 20th position. Brilliant, brilliant performance from her. Just too little, too late in terms of qualifying for the Olympic Games. We've just got to hope that there are a couple of withdrawals from some of the teams. It's possible, but it's unlikely, I feel. Third win of her career for Brézard-Boucher. Julie Simon so close on this occasion. Starting number 4. This is Brézard-Boucher. 19 hits out of 20. No one managing to hit every single target. Brézard-Boucher with 19. Kinnunen with a PB going into 13th place, hitting 19. Amanda Lightfoot with a PB, 20th place at the moment with 19 hits out of 20. And Anna Vidal, not a PB, but still hit 19 today.
Just looking at the shooting scores, only 7 athletes having missed 1 target. That is the best score today. And haven't tallied up, but not that many having missed 2 targets. Brézard-Boucher was one of those 7 who managed to hit 19 out of 20. Not an easy day on the range.
Yeah, the average looks to be around 3. Of the big names, Dorothea Vera missing 3. That second prone is where her challenge really came undone. Had she gone clear in that, which she should have done, did we feel it was the wind had died away at that stage?
I think so. compared to, so happy for Brorson there, to family and friends sharing the podium information. Yes, I think it was the win, Patrick. We saw Dorothea Vera adjusting her quite difficult win first time in, and then absolutely perfect conditions second time in. It didn't appear that she adjusted her sights to offset that now there was no wind, and I think that's what's cost her 2 minutes today, and possibly a win. Had those two targets gone down, she would have been 2 seconds faster than Breza Boucher. So Amanda Lightfoot's time survives.
Volchenko at 3:59, still 1,800 metres to go. Only 9 seconds off the British athlete Lightfoot, so she could challenge for a top 20. 93 is Bornikova. And some of the later starters actually putting in very, very impressive results.
Really good. 8 seconds behind Jessica. This you can take in the end. Come on. A little bit more quick. Come on.
It appears the information
speed
there.
That the coaches can get the information, Mike. What a difference the iPads have made.
Oh, it's just so clear and easy. The information is there. And if you're told you have 9 seconds to make up, yes, there's not much track time left, but you certainly felt there was energy, an extra small fraction of energy given to the performance. So that's what an athlete needs in the closing stages when you're, well, you think you could do no more, but there's always some reserve where you can dig into. Powerful finish from Erdal.
Good strong finish from Caroline Erdal, another of the Norwegian team that comes out of Geilo. She's been shooting well in the stand position this year. That stood her in very good stead. Looked good in Ruhpolding, 15th in the sprint. I don't think she's quite going to match that performance here today, but I think she'll be pretty happy with the way things have gone so far.
Just thinking of Claire Egan's results. Well, I thought that was her best ever. Of course, she had a podium, didn't she, in Oslo in the mass start.
3 misses from
finishing third.
Erdal looks pretty lively on the skis, but it's lost a fair amount of time. Just in ahead of Lotte Lee of Belgium. Didn't see Lee at any stage during the race. She missed 3, which she won't be happy with. 3 definitely seems to be the average score for the whole race. We've had a few worse than that. Sanfilippo of Italy missing 5, Pomola missing 4, and we know about Lisa Vitozzi, who in the end has been given 12 penalty minutes, having only fired 4 shots on her very first shoot, and each of those missed. So, yeah, disappointing for her. Morton of New Zealand didn't go so well after all the excitement with Campbell Wright yesterday. She's got to miss 7. And Campbell Wright announced to the world last night, although I think he knew a little bit in advance, that he's going to represent New Zealand in China, only the 2nd biathlete to represent New Zealand. And a couple of British, I was going to say athletes, Tim David, who's been manager of the British team now over in New Zealand, lives near Wanaka, along with Jason Sklenner, both involved, claiming absolutely none of the credit for what Campbell Wright has been achieving. He, of course, trained by Luca Bormolini and spends much of his time in Livigno. Belchenko. Well, this is going to be close. Lightfoot on 4:03. Now, Lightfoot is safe with a top 20. And as soon as Belchenko is across the line, that, for me, is it. The top 20 will not change. We've got Freuwert, who started last of all today, currently in 43rd position after the last shoot. And all the shooting is complete. So 27th place for Belchenko. Good World Cup points. That's an excellent performance. Just while we wait for the tail enders to come in, just having a look at the quickest times, the quickest lap times out there today. Brézard Boucher, who has won, fastest on lap 1, second on lap 2, third on lap 3, fastest on lap 4, and then 6th fastest with virtually no pressure on her at all on the final lap. Tyrrell Eckhoff, who we saw looking a little uncomfortable early on, she was second on the first lap, fourth, up to third, and then produced the fastest final lap time. So Tyrrell Eckhoff is definitely back on form. May not be as good as she was at her best last year, but she is back to winning potential. Can she hit a few more of the targets? Hauser, pretty solid, good strong finish from the Austrian. Third fastest on that last course. She ended up in 9th position. Not high enough to keep Davidova away from the Crystal Globe. So the Czech Republic, for the second time, get the individual Crystal Globe. Sukalova winning it for the Czech Republic. When was that? Back in 2014?
Aspettiamo il risultato, ultimi metri e posizione 44, Rang 44 für die Deutsche, die Viviane Früht.
So Freuwert, last to start. I don't think she's the last out on the course. In terms of shooting, just 2 misses on the day. Conditions did seem to get a little bit easier, whereas yesterday it got harder as the race went on. Usually the strongest wind around the 2 o'clock mark, which is when the start of the race is, but yesterday didn't quite turn out that way. Emmeline Dixon of Canada comes from Canmore, which of course is where the Olympics were held in 1988. She's not particularly happy with that performance. Yeah, 9 misses from Dixon. Mona Brorsson. 1 or 2 congratulatory calls, and I suspect a few interviews with the Swedish press to discuss her 3rd position. But I would imagine she's already heard from the Swedish team that aren't here. Hannah and Elvira Öberg, of course, in person. They'll no doubt be watching from their training resort. Anna Magnusson is the other member of the Swedish team, with Stina Nilsson in there as well. And the Swedes strong enough to win themselves 6 places at the Olympics. So they've got a full team. Well, a final look at the top 10, 42.20, the winning time. Eckhoff just outside the top 10. Good to see the Union Jack down the bottom of the second page. Brilliant shooting from Amanda Lightfoot. And how would that have changed things? Had she hit all 5 on that last shoot, she would have been 3:03 behind, and she would have been just behind Nigmatalina, who came in to finish late, so just outside the top 10. She would have been in 11th place and would have taken the scalp of Tyrrell Eckhoff. But that's not the way it turned out. I think she can be delighted with the way things have gone, though. In terms of the women's total score, Roysland, despite her absence, still a long way clear of Elvira Erberg. Looks to me as though those are the only 2 who are going to fight it out for the title. Alin Bakava really needed to win today, win the mass start here in Antholz as well, to put any pressure on them. Denise Herman also absent today, so she drops a place. Up 3 for Nigmatalina. She's good at the individuals. That could be where we see her feature come the Olympics. Tyrrell Eckhoff climbing back up the order. Remember, she was the overall champion last year, down in 24th position. What is important is that Eckhoff has done enough today by finishing in 11th. I'm pretty sure she's done enough to qualify for the mass start. She really does need a bit of head-to-head experience for this season, having been missed a few races. Brawson managed to hold her balance. She still had 15 seconds or so in hand over Claire Egan of USA, who's finished in 4th. Julia Simon started very, very fast, and at one stage looked as though she was going to take the win. Had she hit 5 on the last, she would have done. Has to be said, the only team that look as though they can win both relays come the Olympics is the French. Their men, they've got a superbly strong squad, and the women with Reza Boucher, Chevalier Boucher, Julia Simon now firing on all cylinders. It could be their turn. Anaïs Bescon as well. So a nice shot of the
Interesting, congratulations. It was a fantastic performance. It really seemed like you put everything together today. Good skiing, good shooting. Can you tell us how you lived this crazy competition?
Thanks a lot. Yeah, it's really good to be back on the podium before a few weeks before Olympic Games during an individual here in Antholz. It's pretty tough because of the altitude, but I was really patient on the mat and with windy condition and emotional on the last shooting especially. So yeah, I'm really happy about the race today, thanks.
And now, a bit of rest maybe?
Yeah, eating and sleeping. That's the program for tonight.
Sounds like a good plan, congratulations.
Eating, sleeping and skiing. Yeah, it's a pretty shallow life by some people's opinion, but it's also a very, very privileged one. So here are the individual scores. The crystal globe is decided. Davidova it is who takes a little bit of glassware back home to the Czech Republic. 98 points. Hauser, good performances in the individual. Just needed an extra 30 seconds today and it would have been hers. Claire Egan with a 4th place rockets up to 12th in the standings and just comes in behind Dorothea Vera. Hasn't really got it together. Vera, of course, who's won that title, 3 times. Roysland absent today and only had an average performance by her standards in the first race of the season. But Davidova claims the first bit of glassware for the year and joins Tarja Bø of Norway. And just in case you weren't with us when we said it earlier on, Tarja has now won every single globe there is to win in biathlon. 2011 was the season that he won the overall. He completed his set yesterday by winning the individual World Cup for 2022. So congratulations to him, and no doubt we'll see him in good form when it comes to the mass start.
Das wird nichts. Heute wird das nichts mehr. Ich muss das erste Mal lernen. Ich bin halt falsch.
Much better shooting from Mona Brawson today. Only missed 2. She's struggled with the standing shoot this season. Yeah, Julia Simon looks just a little bit frustrated, but I think she can take a lot of confidence from what she's done over the last couple of weeks. Really good in Oberhof, a second in the sprint there. Hasn't had a win so far this season. She's got 3 in her career, so her and Brézard-Boucher both on 3 now. Yeah, really solid from Claire Egan as well. I think the Americans' bit of success is long overdue. Compare that to her 76th place this time last week in the sprint. Egan has finished up in 4th place, just 1:55. She missed 2 targets, so she's another one who'll be going to bed thinking, if only I'd had a clean sheet, I would have been a World Cup winner. Her PB is 3rd. She just missed out on that today.
Antholz-Anterselva 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, awarding ceremony for the women's individual competition. On 3rd place, representing Sweden, Mona Brawson. Executive Board Member from the IBU and Lorenz-Leitgeb from Antholz. On 2nd place, representing France, Julia Simon.
Been a very, very successful 3 weeks for Julie Simon. The success really started in Annecy, the last round of the World Cup before the Christmas break. She got 2 second places there in the pursuit and the mass start, then 2nd in Oberhof sprint. That's why I think she's just a little bit fed up with being the runner-up. But if you're going to be beaten, it's nice to be beaten by one of your teammates. And it's Justine Brézard-Boucher who has taken the Nice third. Claire Egan gets a taste of the limelight for the first time this season. Remember, her personal best is third, a fourth place today, and that'll be a very popular result. So Egan in 4, Dorothea Viera not quite finding her winning ways with 3 misses, but she's dangerous when she gets the sights right. She certainly is a potential Olympic champion in the individual event in particular.
Justine Bressas-Bichet, Julia Simon, Mona Persson, Claire Egan, Dorothea Viera, and Marketa Davidova. Congratulations.
Davidova on the right-hand side in the red bib. And of course, the winner of the individual Crystal Globe. That one already decided. Used to be, the Olympic races used to be part of the World Cup tally, but that's been stopped. And so the individual race out in Beijing will not count towards the individual World Cup standings. Individuals, it does get a bit confusing. Maybe we should just call it the long distance race. 15K for the women, 20 for the men. A winning smile from Bressas-Bichet. Good spirits in the French camp. When the boys are slightly below par, it's the women who step it up. So that's it for today. Join us tomorrow. Relays and mass starts coming over the weekend. 2 more days of action here in Antholz, and then a rest before the Olympic Games.